Go.
Welcome to Not a Great Whisper podcast. I'm your host, of course, Katie Ray. We're coming to you from BKN Creative Studio in Central Ybor. I have a fabulous guest here today, Briaunna, this young lady. She loves the color blue. We call her Bri. She moved here from Colorado. She's 18 years old, and I absolutely love chatting with this woman. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I want congratulations. You just graduated high school.
Yes, finally.
I love that. And that's a big stage in your life. So what's new about waking up every morning?
Oh my gosh, I have my diplomas, my bed is here, and then on the wall I have this little shelf and I have my diploma sitting on top of it. So I wake up and I'm like, school, look over here. And I'm like, oh, never mind.
And you'd wake up super early, right?
Oh yeah.
High school's like 7 something it starts, right?
Yeah. You know what?
That's crazy
Actually,
to
the
me.
school I graduated with, they're changing their classes to where they don't start school till 9:00.
Oh, now since you've left?
Yeah, I was like, excuse me. I was like,
Hi,
rude.
wait, what about me? So you moved here to Tampa.
Yes.
What brought you here?
I went through really big changes in my life. I was living with a very toxic mother, became very hostile. And when I turned 18, I really, was convinced that, I just needed to go. So I left and I left her house still in Colorado, and I moved about 4 hours away to Fort Collins in the area where I lived with my ex-boyfriend and his parents, who so graciously took me in, helped us out a lot. I graduated because they helped so much, and then my ex-boyfriend and I broke up. So then I was like, you know what? This is the time to really, experience what more there is. Yep. Now that I don't have chains, now that I don't have, people holding me back as, my mom was. And so I was like, you know what? And my uncles have always opened up their home. And so I was like, I'm going,
That.
Yeah.
What a good change for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is kind of for your breakup, of course, but do you still keep in touch with the family there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a good one.
Yes. It was very
okay.
loving. It was like, oh, this is what a normal family's like.
Oh, you're like, great. This is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm hitting your knee under our table.
Oh, it's okay.
Sorry.
I like playing footsie.
Thanks for playing footsie with me. Our guest Bree's playing footsie with me.
Yes.
So your uncle Kevin and Brandon.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing about living with them right now?
Oh my gosh, it's filled with so much laughter. And you know what? Being in a house where it was constantly you're stepping on eggshells and you're in a explosive environment, and there's some things I expect. Either they're gonna react a certain way, and then they baffle me by not acting that way, and I'm like, what?
This is real?
Yeah, I was like, what is going on here? It's just it's fun, and
Good.
I feel it's one of the places
you feel like home.
safe, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
home.
How did you feel in Colorado when you were at home?
It didn't feel like home. So when I lived with my mom, it was never a home. I was help paying for a lot of things. I was giving her money, stuff like that. So I was doing everything like a 15-year-old probably, shouldn't have to do. And I didn't have to do it at the time. We weren't as financially, unstable as she always told me we were. And so, I don't know. It was a house. It was just a house somewhere I stayed for the night.
And you had your sister and brother?
Yes, definitely. They were the rock that I was able to study myself upon. Because, I don't know. They're just, we're all so different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like the goody good two shoes, and my sister's, the more of the rebellious one, and my brother is such a nerd, Yeah. And we all, I don't know, we all butt heads used to butt heads a lot. But now it's just, after going through stuff with my mom, it's just made me realize how much they mean to me in the long run.
Coming together because you're going through the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Differences, similarities,
right.
brings us all together.
Mm-hmm.
But that's so good you have that, and they have you to look up to.
Mm-hmm.
So as an 18-year-old in this crazy world right now, how is what is your kind of go-to daily routine because of all the stresses like social media, anxiety, the pressure of just like fitting in? Like, what's your kind of go-to for everything?
So I like to take it all in. It all in. English is not my first language. Bullcrap is no. So
you can say bullshit. It's fine.
I know. I just feel icky.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
So, it's hard, definitely. I have to constantly step back for a second and be like, oh, is that really what I want to think? So my favorite thing to do throughout the day after experiencing so many people and, social media and everything else, I like to just sit down with myself and be like, okay, so what do you think about this? How do you think this should be done? What are your beliefs? What are you comfortable with? What are you not comfortable with, especially, And so it really helps because at that point I'm, giving myself a certification, like this is who you are in relation to what others are saying.
Your check-ins.
Yes. Yeah. And I love checking in with myself. I love writing. I love my little journal where I write in, it's always in the moment feelings, because I don't like to exert my feelings. So it's all internal.
Yes,
so I
love
write
that.
and I go back on the pages and I, give updates and I'm like, I'm okay now.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That's amazing. I can't wait for you to just look at all of it another day too.
Right.
How did you learn that?
I learned it. It was definitely it took a long time to really get to that point, but it was first recognizing that I wasn't okay and that I was doing things that I don't want to be doing.
Not as a kid.
Yeah, not as a child. I was sitting down thinking as an adult when I wanted to go hang out with friends, when I wanted to, do a musical for school, stuff like that. And, is internal. It's like, okay, I'm not okay. My mental health is declining and I'm not happy. And I'm allowing myself to be basically brainwashed by other people's thoughts of me and their opinions and, against social media.
True.
Yeah. And so I totally had to just be like, okay, well, what do you know? Like, what do you know is true? So, yeah.
Wow, that's so hard to know. And I think just this time, to be in a toxic environment with your mom kind of leading the charge, it makes my heart sad. But I know how of an influence I am on my kids. Like my energy brings their energy down. They'll have a tantrum and I'm like, oh, that's probably because I seem pretty negative.
Yeah.
But you knew to get out of somewhere where it was toxic. And I think it's hard for people to separate. Like, yes, it's family. I support family 100%. But if they're not good for your heart and your soul,
definitely,
and your physical and emotional being, like you got to get out of there.
Yeah.
Like it's not worth your mental state for that.
It really isn't. And one of my favorite things, not my favorite things, but one of her favorite things she liked to say is that blood's always thicker than water. And it was like, well,
not right now.
In this day and age, we love choice. I didn't get to choose you. And that really hurts to say. It hurts to say because, you want to love your family, who you were born from, who you're born with, but at the end of the day, it's like, I didn't choose to be unhappy. I didn't choose to be in your line of fire every day. And I didn't choose to be, just this way. And and that's the hard thing about it. It's like, oh, it's still your mom. It's still your dad. Okay, they are, but this is who they also are,
I don't want to choose to be in an environment like that. Right. I don't want to be around negativity.
Right. And it's just like, well,
it's kind of like settling for a job.
Yeah.
Like you're just settling for this shitty environment.
Right.
Oh, was that icky? Because I said shitty.
No, listen, okay. Clarification. I don't like saying it because I feel icky, but like hearing it makes me laugh. Like,
okay, good.
When other people curse, I'm like, that's hilarious.
I wasn't going to stop doing it for you, but I love you. But I didn't want to stop
full
doing
force.
it. Okay,
I think it adds to hilarious.
But that's one of my main things is you just, for yourself, because I've learned the hard way as well, like put yourself first. Because if you do that, your self-care is first. All the rest just is a better domino effect than just like taking everyone down with you. Like your energy can change someone's whole day.
Definitely.
And it's like, why be that really shitty person that day to bring down everybody around you? And to be a mom, I on my bad days, I try to not be full force on the kid, like not in front of the kids as much, because I know that isn't going to help them through their day and learning and doing that, even though they're small. But like it sucks that you went through that, but to be at your age to know you can leave is really empowering for people.
Definitely. You know, and she had a lot of like mental illness, so she deals with bipolar. And, you know, that's another thing I wanted to touch upon is like, you know, people with mental illnesses, you know, they didn't get a choice either, you know, and they're going to experience things that they cannot control. But there is a point where you need to stop and say, I need help. And she wasn't doing that. And she did not, you know, she was saying that she's taking medication, which I don't believe is true, you know, because it was bad. Because like when she had her lows, and she always like, we'd talk and she'd be like, I don't have highs. I rarely have highs. It's like, okay, as your child, this makes me sad to hear, you know, stuff like that. And it's just, at some point you have to draw a line. You have to set those boundaries, and you have to be able to be okay with those boundaries. And, you know, as of right now, she's not okay, but you know, those boundaries are set in stone.
You can't help someone who's not going to help themselves.
No, you cannot. You cannot.
Because it trained you.
Oh yeah, I was exhausted every day.
And how many high schools did you change?
So I attended 5 different high schools, and I moved 6 different times. So I've never been at the same high school for more than a year.
So your sister and brother did the same because they were changing schools.
Yes.
At the same time.
Yeah. So hopefully.
So is that moving houses?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we moved from in between Texas, Colorado, New Mexico, those 3 states. Wow. You know, because you know, she got remarried. She's on her 4th marriage now, and every time she got remarried, we'd move in with them. You know, we'd move where they are. So we'd drop everything and we'd go. And you know, like experiencing, like I'm thankful for it because I got to experience so many people. You know, I have made such good relationships with people, and you know, now I go to jobs and they're like, why do you think you're such a good people person? It's like, well, I've almost experienced everybody. Yeah, every kind of person. And so it was just, I don't know, like it's a curse and a blessing because I've learned so much. I've grown so much, and I have found self-value in myself, especially when I decided to leave. But at the same time, this is my mom.
Yep. You battle that every day.
Yeah. So it's like I watch movies where scenes where they're crying like, I want my mom. It's like, oh, me too.
Yeah, that's true. You're like,
so yeah, definitely. And it's like, you know, she was my best friend. You know, we were very, very close. You know,
well, because you took care of the household
basically,
while she was.
Yeah. So I've been working since I was 14. And, you know, since I started getting my first paycheck, I was buying my own things, like shampoo, if I needed underwear, if I need, you know, anything. Like, I bought it. And, you know, granted, you know, she tried her best to take care of us. She really did. But she tried too hard to be the perfect mom, and that's not what I needed. I needed a happy, present mom. You know, she was barely there when I did my, my plays and my musicals I was in for high school, because I'm a really big theater nerd.
Love it.
And, you know, like just not having that support. You know, I was never around any family. She was like, I was alienated from the rest of the family. And so I remember standing on stage and being like, no one in this audience is here for me, you know, because that's the life I was living. And it was just so much, you know.
That is hard. And I think this is a huge shout out to every parent to know it's not the toy you're going to get them the next day. It's literally being present, experiencing things with them, and being there for their like most important moments. Yeah,
it is. It really is. Because, you know, that means more in the long run, because I didn't care about getting to eat some fancy dinner the next night. I wanted you to see me on that stage.
What I love to do.
When I love to do, you know, or I wanted you there for me. I needed you there, and you weren't there, you know. And granted, she had to work. She worked a lot, but like when she wanted to do things, it was available. She was available. So when it came to her kids,
what are your priorities? At the end of the day?
We're like, what are we to you at this point? Are we just housemaids basically? You know, because my ex-boyfriend and I had moved in together because she didn't want to let me move 3 hours away for college. So, I mean, she was like, you're going to fail and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. She had this development where if she wasn't involved, no one would succeed.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely. And it was, it was hard because, at some point I'm like believing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, if she's not there, I'm really going to fail. What am I going to do? And so, my ex-boyfriend and I were taking the kids with his car because I didn't have one, even though like I had been trying so hard to save and I just couldn't save because, something would break and I would have to replace it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it, like if her and her husband were fighting and she wanted to get away, I would supply hotel money,
Wow.
So yeah, and she loves texting. So one of my pet peeves now was when like fighting over texting. I don't want to do it.
No.
Like, not even fighting, just
pick up the phone.
Yeah, talking in general is like, it has to be like I have to hear your voice or see your face.
Yeah.
One of the
there's
two.
No tone. There's no emotion in a text. You can change it to any voice you want.
And like those are hurt. Like when you're angry, words are hurtful. And when you have it in a text, it's there.
Yeah.
You get to reread that. And that was her favorite thing. Even if we were in the same house, she would text me these novels of like how no one cares for her. And like, granted, during the last few months, I did stop caring. I stopped caring about everything, know? And I didn't even think I was going to graduate high school because she was like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to graduate. It's like, okay, well, I'm not even graduating for me at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And it was definitely super hard because I'm a very empathetic person. I feel for people a lot. And, I was like, this is my mom. She needs my help. At the time, I thought she was sick with cancer. Wasn't the case. Yeah. So, she is a very manipulative person. And I got to realize that after, like, growing up. I just realized some things weren't clicking. So I would talk to my uncles and they'd clarify things. And I'm like, wow, I was manipulated, and like coming back to Colorado.
Thank you for being honest with me. You're like,
right. Yeah. And coming back to Colorado, it was super hard because it was like, how do I treat you? And, I remember we had a fight. She's like, what did she say? She goes, ever since you came back, you've been different. And yeah.
Yeah, because
you're right.
eyes are open.
Yeah. And,
you keep me in this little house every day and you just tell me these lies.
I worked full time. So after school, I was going right to work. Weekends I worked. I really tried and my paycheck was gone, During the first few months we lived in Pueblo, I was giving her $200 out of each of my paychecks. Mm-hmm.
Where'd you work?
I worked at a little family-owned restaurant. Yep. Yeah, I was a cook. Shout out to Taco Stop in Baltimore.
Out. You were a cook. I love it. Oh my gosh, you better make me some tacos.
Oh, they're so good over there. But it was very nice. But like, again, those are,
you were working for what?
Yeah.
Really at the end of the day.
And she was always like constantly blowing up. I always had to have my phone. If I didn't answer once, she'd text me saying that I need to look for 1-bedroom apartments for the whole family because we were going to get evicted and stuff like that. That's what was my everyday life. If I couldn't fix it, then the whole world was going to crumble.
She made it like that. And I'm so proud of you for making that move and showing your sister and brother that they can do the same.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I really believe that if I had stayed any longer, I probably wouldn't be here. I think I would have given up.
Yeah.
Like eternally because it was just so hard. Yeah.
People realize how toxic a mother can be to someone.
Oh, yeah.
And
no one wants to talk
say
about
that out loud.
Yeah.
But because you're always like, it's a mother. But I wouldn't wish that on anybody, especially from really one of the most important people in your life. Right. And I'm not giving props to dads. But,
right.
Someone who holds you in their body for 9 months, any mother, adopted mother too, who doesn't hold you, but any mother who gets the title mother needs to realize this is the probably greatest title you're ever going to get. And you got to own it and just be good to those little kids. Because at any age, you're moldable. So you could have been adopted at 11.
Right.
Like you are still an influence. That mother is still influencing you. And if you're getting into a toxic environment, you had to take steps back from just life and be like, wait, what do I think?
Yeah. And what you experience is what you learn,
Yes.
So that's why I told you, like, we were best friends, when she was mad at someone, I was mad at someone, it was stuff like that. And
you're kind of finding yourself again.
Oh yeah. I'm discovering a whole new me,
because you were kind of a mom.
Oh yeah. And
now you're like, what is this? And now you're single.
Yes.
She's beautiful, everyone. Shout out, shoot us a review. I'll get your number. And that's hard too for you because you're at a stage where people are very materialistic or fake. And you have to kind of be like, no, definitely don't want that. I don't want my virtual communication boyfriend. who swipes left and right. You can do all that. Those are entertaining though. Don't my friends do that. But I think you're so wise beyond your years, and it's so refreshing to see as a mom that I can just lead the way for my kids, and through their experiences, they're either gonna turn right or left, and hopefully they pick the one
exactly.
they should.
And so it's definitely not. I'm not a mom, and so I won't speak too harsh, like not harsh, but like too into it.
I know,
but it's like that's your baby, you have to, and that's what I struggled with too. Is like, I'm her kid, she's gonna worry, but at the end of the day, you can hold their hand. But as for what they want to do with their free one, you gotta let them do it. Be there for support, but don't hover. And it's hard. It's really hard. And I, when I have kids, I'm probably like being a hypocrite right now because I don't even know.
No, you'll be great. I think just being real with your kids from a young age. Just like I've had my bad days with them. We can't be perfect.
Right.
You don't need a perfect mom. You need someone present, which I think is probably the biggest message you can give anyone. And any parent, whether you get a child at a teenage years, which is like the most important years, but at any time in their life, you're like the most influential person.
Right. You really are. Cause that, that kid is you as a mom, that kid is all they see, and, and
I feel like anybody could be a mother figure. I feel like during my mom's hard time, like going through divorce and stuff, my sister took that route of like taking care of us. And that was my mom figure at that time,
definitely.
And then my mom, that was the support my mom needed to get the younger ones through, but Chrissy shouldn't have taken that role the whole time. She didn't.
Right.
Where my mom came back from going through everything she was going through, and she was always there, but she had to, figure out what she was going through. And that's important to know that you can't be perfect, but I don't look down at her for that time.
Yeah.
We had those extra outlets, but you can't spit negativity into your children's ears every day and expect good to happen from that.
Yeah, one of my favorite, Into the Woods, the musical, there's a song, Children Will Listen, and it's basically like, just be careful because they listen.
Oh, yeah.
And, excuse me, and a mom is still human. A mom will feel anger, and a mom will feel emotions as she deserves.
Don't bring the kid into it.
Definitely. Just learn to separate your mom life and your emotional life, because at that point, your kids don't understand what your emotional life is. They're still trying to figure out why they're crying over nuggets, They
really want the chicken nugget.
I want some chicken nuggets.
It's so true. That's so true. And I know it's like a blessing and a curse, I think you said, but I think it's wonderful for you to be that positive role model for your brother and sister. I think that's such an important thing. But it's so much more important for you to take care of yourself first.
Yeah, that, and that was actually really hard, like going through this. My brother and sister were the ones that, I was like, what is going to happen?
I can't leave.
I would sit down, like when I'd had like fights, because it would get mad. It would get bad. Like things would be thrown. I was never hit. I was hit the day I left, but that was the only time I've ever experienced that kind of physical abuse. And it was like, well, what's gonna happen to them? I love my brother and sister, granted, like we're also different, know. I'm like the goody good two shoes. My sister's the rebellious one, and my brother's like he's a big nerd.
I love it.
And we bumped heads a lot, and I was emotionally just not okay, especially around the time my brother and I fought a lot, my sister and I fought a lot.
But you stuck it out. You guys are very close in age, right?
Yes. So my sister's turning 17, and then my 18. Yeah. And then my brother will be 15 or 16 in August. They both born in August.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So they're.
But you left at an age where you were actually you picked a good time. Like you stuck it out for so long. So you picked like a time where you knew they'd be okay.
Yeah, because they're older now, and they're their own people now. And just granted, she's still influencing, but they are strong. And the day I left, she told me to get up and leave, I looked over and I said, I love you guys. And they were like, I love you too. And I left the room and packed my things.
That's a huge moment.
Oh yeah, it was. It like being 18, it really opened my eyes. Like, she can't hold me anymore. No. She can't, try and make me fail, but no, my brother and sister, they're so strong. They're still there, unfortunately, but my sister's almost old enough to leave, and my brother will get there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, good. As long as you guys keep connected, you know,
yeah, definitely.
which you probably talk to every day. And it's funny through the ages where you're like butting heads with your sister and then you're like best friends.
Yeah. I used to fight my brother Devin over a taco all the time, and my sister would get upset. Like, why are you wearing? Oh yeah, I know. I'll fight over some tacos.
Why are you wearing my clothes?
Yeah, that's what it was. Like, when were you in my closet? You know?
Like what?
I miss those moments. Yeah, I miss those moments, you know, and I love my sister because like she's just such a sweetheart. Oh, yeah. She's a really big, like, she's got a tough act, but like on the inside, she's super sweet. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love her.
So cute. Okay, so, I think I'm not going to bring up you being single in this horrible generation. It's atrocious. You're like, I don't want to talk about it. I think it's great for you though to just start. It's kind of like starting brand new for you.
It is.
But with all your experiences, it's amazing what you've become.
Yeah.
Super amazing human.
Thanks.
But what do you kind of want to tell the audience, especially people your age or have gone through a really hard time? Because yes, everybody goes through different things at different times in their life. You know, and it's hard to, we hear things in the background. Someone's eating a sandwich just to remind us. But it's hard to really talk to this generation because they don't get it.
It is really hard. So what I've experienced with people with my generation of kids going to school, especially going to 5 different high schools, I've got to see a wide variety of how things are. And, you know, I think people my age and, you know, the younger generation now is like really romanticized with being sad. And it's hard to get someone out of that. You know, I've had a lot of my friends where they're like, well, I just, you know, I can't take it anymore. It's like, okay, well, hold on. What do you have right now? You know, it's like you gotta, you know, and I'm preaching to the choir.
No, but you know how to step back and you'll get in those stages.
And you know, it's hard for me to relate to people, well, not to relate, but to understand mainly, because it's like my experiences are my own and theirs their own. And so I have to remind myself like, hey, you're not feeling what they're feeling. You have to understand that what they're going through is hard on them, even though it may be hard on me.
Yeah. It's their own.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, in this generation, I don't know, like, I get a lot of, you're so mature for your age and stuff like that.
Well, you get it because we see these people scrolling and like every day is like, check out my outfits today. Yeah, loving life, being happy, but what are you doing?
Right,
like,
exactly, yeah. So me too. I'm a really big social media person, but like to the point where it's like, okay, well, my social media matches my life, you know.
Yes.
You know, and that's a very big thing for me. I love to keep my opinions the same. Mm-hmm. Consistency is my best friend. Yeah. So like what you see on Facebook is what you see in real life. Except for like photos, because I look pretty all the time in photos. And then you see me in real life.
Yeah, right.
You're
like,
such a liar. You should be on Catfish.
See there. No, shut up. You're such a liar. No, but it is. It's just a lot of, I wish there was more realness and people realizing like you don't have to follow that you don't have to get that mascara to be pretty, even though it might be really good.
Right.
But like, it's just a very huge, I just wish people knew. I get it because I was, I get it. Like I sold drugs thinking that was better than my restaurant job. Right. Like, you know, like I was like, yeah, that's where the money is. I want to be Scarface. But I don't think, it's good. Say hello to a little friend. Yeah, of course. But for me, it's now I look into it and I'm like, no, you're perfect. Like, just be you.
Right.
And I think a lot is good that you started doing drama. And I think because that gives you that side where you can do what you need to do in acting and then be yourself afterwards.
Yeah,
so
and it's definitely like putting what I want to do, doing what I love to do. Like I love to act. I want to go to the beach all the time, you know, and stuff like that. And so it was like, because I'm so used to taking care of someone. I'm so used to having to be like, are you okay? You know, or do you need anything?
Yeah.
So there was weird. There was rare moments where I was like, hey, I want to do this, so I'm going to go do it, you know? Like, my nails are a big thing. I love getting my nails done. But, like, I couldn't do it all the time, you know? Because if her nails weren't done, she saw my nails done, it was a big fight. Stuff like that. And it was like, I just couldn't do it. So when I moved out, And,
And you got your nails done.
Yeah, I did.
So proud
I got
of
my
you.
nails done.
I understand where you come from, where you keep it very soft spoken about your mom, because I get the feeling when I talk about a mom.
Right.
Because I'm very like, be a great mom. Any mom's great. But
Right.
I am a huge believer in, you are a huge influencer. Take that seriously. To anybody you're in front of. Teachers too. That's why I give teachers high fives all the time. Like, wow, you're influencing 30 kids at a time. But it's a huge role, and it needs to be taken seriously. And we need to make sure kids aren't leaving school and going home to just toxic environments. Like, I feel like people just forget about the kids, and they're like, oh, stop abortions, but don't worry about the kids that are going home to no food for the weekend. It's just crazy. And that's a perfect example. Like, you went all the way to 18.
Yeah.
Fighting your emotions of sadness, of depression, of anxiety. You were taking on your brother and sister full on, like at one point in your life, just taking care of them. Like, that's a lot for a child to handle.
Yeah.
And I think people forget, like, we need to help those kids. Like, that's where the adults come in that are in different households that need to just kind of step in.
Oh, yeah.
If I went up to a mom, I'm not going to tell her what to do, but I am going to say, this isn't a good environment for your kid. This isn't okay.
And that's why, households vary, some, like, we joke around, but in another household that may be like super not okay. And, that's where you got to be like, okay, what's the boundary to where you're hurting your kids at this point? Like, again, moms, we don't need perfect moms. We don't need you to buy us this amazing product. We don't need you to slave yourself to provide us, 5-course meals. You know what? I'd be fine with peanut butter jelly sandwich and we just sit and watch TV together.
PB&J, girl.
Actually, I don't even like jelly, but like PB. Just
I love
PB.
a PB, girl. I do. Throw that jelly sometimes, but I get it. My son will only eat peanut butter. He's like, I don't know what that is. I get that.
Jelly?
But you're right. And it's a huge thing. And I think coming from the mouth of an 18-year-old, whether mature or not, you're still 18, and you're still just stepping into yourself, where maybe your mom could have guided you more to find yourself earlier, or just let go of that hand, or not make you run the household with her.
Right.
I think you're doing great. I think you made a good move. Your uncles are the best of the best. And I think you're in definitely good hands to just find who you are, especially in Tampa. Yeah. And I think... what do you want the audience to know about you, and what do you want to end on?
Honestly, I'm not like, I don't want to say I'm a survivor, but I definitely survived through that period of time where I wanted to just not exist.
Was suicide going up like this with kids?
Yeah.
I mean, I think people need to just like wake up right now.
Yeah.
Mental illness is real. Suicide rates in children are real.
People
like,
need help. And like,
not everybody can control their emotions like you did. Like, you could have been in a bigger hole where your uncle was looking for you in Colorado rather than,
that was the one thing, I that's when I was sitting with myself and I was like, I'm not okay. I don't want to be breathing right now, and that's not okay. And that needs to change, and definitely, like, my uncles have always been like a safe haven. So it was like, because they, grew up the same way she did. Yeah. But look at them. Because it's with a choice. It is a choice to how you live, how you choose to live, how you want to do things, and
what you're grateful for.
You know what? And I love to say this because I love my mom no matter what. It's just very hard. And I'm very, as of right now, I'm very
You can love
angry.
her and not be right next to her.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I still harbor a lot of anger and stuff like that. But it's like, a possibility for a relationship will always be open, but I need to make it to where she, can't hurt me as she did. So, like, to the audience, like, people who hurt you probably shouldn't be in your life, whether they're your mom, your dad, sister, brother. I mean, it's okay to let go. You don't blame yourself, because, like, say you girls, you buy heels that just kill your feet, give you blisters everywhere. Still wear them? Probably not.
Probably not.
And like stuff like that. It's okay to let go, and you need to forgive yourself. I had to do a lot of that. I have a problem saying I'm sorry a lot. I still struggle with it today.
That's okay.
Definitely. But it's like, allow yourself forgiveness. Give that to yourself first before you can start forgiving others for like things you may be angry about, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. You're right. Words of wisdom from my youngest guest. First podcast, popping a cherry for a podcast.
Oh, yes.
I loved having you and hearing your story, and I hope the whole audience knows she loves her mom, but it's real shit. And we talk about real shit on this podcast, even though it's an icky word. But we talk about real things because we need to open our eyes.
Yes.
It's real stuff that's happening out there, and we need to support each other more.
Right.
You're beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
Dove
So
your
are
handles.
you.
Oh, thank you, girl. The humidity got my hair today.
You better work.
What's your handles? Instagram and Facebook.
Oh, so my Instagram is b.tyd, and then Facebook is just Briaunna.
Oh yeah, your name. Sorry, I don't know. I said Facebook.
You've probably been through the whole last name with my uncle on his podcast. It's the same. I'm the same. Talaska. If you listen to the last one, then you know.
We know. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. Again, Not a Great Whisper podcast, at Not a Great Whisper, at The Real K-Ray, KatieRay.com. We launch every Monday, and here's Morty's music beats at the end of the show. Bree, you're the best. Thanks. Bye.